This is Lily, one of the dogs you hear often barking on my videos. Rufy's laying over there in the corner, the other one you hear sometimes. Today we're going to talk about my newest acquisition, the Paul Reed Smith PRS Silver Sky SE. Just arrived the other day. Haven't really had a lot of time to play it. I'm going to give you my initial thoughts. I have now 3 SEs. It's the lower end of Paul Reed Smith's. This is the Angelus Acoustic Electric. I bought it at Dan's Guitars on Baratania Street in Honolulu. This was made, I believe, in the original factory in Korea. This is the Santana signature model. I got this from Sweetwater after I saw Santana play at the Blaisdell. He played several Paul Reed Smiths, and this is the orange tiger stripe one that I like the best. And this is the Silver Sky, which is that's Silver Sky SE, which I'm going to talk about mostly. All of the SEs come with the distinctive Paul Reed Smith headstock. I think these are called Birds in Flight inlay. This one on the SE is called Small Birds. So, you gotta get down. So what is this thing? First glance, it looks like a Stratocaster. So John Mayer famously played Fender Strats, vintage ones, until recently when he switched and partnered up with Paul Reed Smith to make a Strat style guitar the way he wanted, which meant 60s style vintage neck, which is, you know, fat like the fat end of a baseball bat, which I don't like. Before I talk about the differences, so just like a Strat, bolt-on neck, 4 bolts, the belly cut, which I like, versus a Telecaster, which is one big fat slab of wood. 3 single coil pickups, 5-way selector switch, volume 2 tone knobs. You string it the old way through the back, which is very convenient. What's different from a Strat, of course, the headstock. The Fenders, famously, they were different sizes over the years, and most people know that they were always, the Telecasters and Strats always had 6 tuning pegs on the top, versus the Paul Reed Smith, three lower strings on the upper end and the 3 treble strings on the lower end, which means this is like a Les Paul style where the strings go into 2 different directions. But unlike Les Pauls, which are notorious for having the G string go out of tune, Paul Reed Smith supposedly worked this out. Okay, so the neck on the SE model is aimed at a more mass audience. So this neck is different from the American model. It's thinner. It's a different finish. Really easy to play. Really easy to play. The other differences are the parts, the components. The pickups are lower end than the US model. US model retails at $2,500, $49. This one is $849, and I got it for half that through Sweetwater, which I'll talk about later. Critics say the tuning keys feel cheap. I disagree. They feel really nice. They're really tight and solid, and there's no slippage at all. And when my guitar arrived, so anytime I have a guitar shipped to me in Hawaii, I always let it sit in the box for at least 24 to 48 hours. And this one actually came with a warning sticker I've never gotten from Sweetwater, saying, it was pretty funny. It said, you know, we know you're impatient, we know you're dying, but please leave it in the box. And I was busy at work this week. I had to work into the night every day, so It actually sat in the box for almost 4 days without me, touch it. But when I got it out, so there's people say, well, if you ship a guitar, you need to tune it down a half a step, maybe a whole step, so the strings are looser and they don't pull on the neck and get it warped or whatever. When I pulled this one out, 5 strings were exactly in tune, and only one was a little sharp. This is not a commercial for Sweetwater. I'm a loyal customer, but they don't endorse me. God knows they don't endorse me. But they go through they call it a 55-point inspection, and I've really been happy with all the guitars I've had shipped from Sweetwater, which is 5 I got from Sweetwater. So the tuning keys I was really happy with because they've been criticized. People say the nut is plastic. PRS calls it synthetic bone, so it could be plastic. What I'm less worried about is people said, Paul Reed Smith in their history of, cool stuff, missed an opportunity with the truss rod cover. Can forgive that. So I've only had probably, the first time I played it, I just didn't even think about the neck. It's heresy. I'm supposed to say the number one quality is tone, but for me, it's how the neck feels. I've played some expensive guitars, some expensive Martins. They sound great, but if the neck causes my hand to cramp or any kind of pain, I'm not going to play that guitar. Or if I'm playing and I have to consciously think about, okay, I'm getting fret buzz, or this feels not natural, I'm just not going to play it. Or I'm not going to buy it either. So I bought this one sight unseen because I read reviews and seen some comparisons between the American model and the SE model, and the neck is is thinner, and it's really comfortable for me. So I played it, I was playing it, plugged it in, tuned it up, and I wasn't even thinking about where my hands were going, or I was playing riffs, I was playing a couple songs, and I look up and an hour has passed. I mean, it was that comfortable. It's like a sports car. You step on the gas and you're, people talk about a guitar being an extension of your body. This is the closest I've come to it. Okay, same 22 scale length as a 22 scales of a Strat, same 25.5-inch length. This is a rosewood top and a maple neck, which is different from the American model. But somehow, and I've had Strats, somehow this one fits me better. It just feels tighter and shorter. It's not. I mean, the neck length is actually longer than a Les Paul, and supposedly the shorter scale length on a Les Paul gives it that kind of darker sound, along with the pickups and all kinds of other mythology. Les Pauls I've had that felt kind of long. This one doesn't. It really fits me well. I'm very happy. So how this guitar ended up with me was the first lot of SEs at $849 just sold out like that. And so I'm mostly a humbucker. Well, all my electric guitars are humbuckers or P90s. So I had not had a single coil in a long time. And these sold out really quickly. So on Sweetwater, I just put one in my cart. It said, more on the way. And simultaneously, I had a very expensive pedal from Sweetwater that crapped out. One of the things I like about Sweetwater is they have a 2-year warranty. So I shipped it. They ship free to Hawaii, which is huge when you're having a guitar. Nobody else will ship free. So I have to pay to return a product, but I sent this pedal back. They sent me a new one right away. Within a week, I got a new one. I was fine. I'm not going to name the brand, but it was the most expensive pedal I've ever bought. It was well over $400. And then 6 months later, the replacement one craps out. And this is around November, December-ish. And I sent it back, and I told my sales guy, you know, just give me credit. I don't want this model anymore. And so that credit sat in my account for months and months and months. And I had this PRS, this one, which they call the color stone blue, but to me it looks like the old seafoam green Stratocasters. So I put this actual model in my cart just so I could look at it from time to time. And then around January, my sales guy at Sweetwater sent me an email saying we got more on the way. They should arrive in May. Do I want to reserve one? You know, no cost. I could always not buy it. And my birthday's on May 29th, which is just a little over a month from now. And I thought, no, it'd be a nice birthday present. And I can always say no. And then I remembered I had this credit. So this guitar cost me, it retails at $849. I got it for just over $400, free shipping. So somebody wanted me to have this guitar. Most of you, anybody who shopped at Sweetwater knows, again, not to be a commercial for them, I just really like them. I like my sales guy. I've used their customer support. I've returned a few things. They've just been great. Anyway, you always get a bag of candy. This guitar, you know, any order you get a bag of candy and a sticker. This one, I got 2 bags of candy and 2 stickers. Anyway, I've got these stickers on everything. But this will give you an idea of how often I buy things from Sweetwater. And these aren't even all the purchases I made. So that's my initial review of the Silver Sky SE. I haven't recorded any songs yet. I'm gonna give it a good workout this weekend, see what kind of personality it has. But we'll see. I'll probably figure out a song or 2 to record this weekend. This one, the Santana, it's been on many recordings. In fact, the one I just posted of an electric guitar version of Adia by Sarah McLaughlin. This guitar is featured. I used it on just a guitar version of Building a Mystery by Sarah McLaughlin a few months ago. Oh, forgot one thing. So the other thing that John Mayer did, you know, traditional Strat belly cut, is he put in what they're calling a hand carve. So in addition to the horn down here, there's an extra indentation to get way up at the high frets. And he also did something which I can't quite understand to make the cable socket different. I use right angle cables because if I use the regular 1/4 inch, when I put them in the rack, it bends the cable. So I use right angle. So I have to figure that out or look at that a little more in depth this weekend when I give the Silver Skies workout, how that's different from a Strat. I've had the Santana model for several years, and I just learned this thing the other day that the gig bags that come with these have a hook that's tucked away in a pocket, and you open the Velcro and you pull the hook out so you can hang it in a closet. Which, one of those cool Paul Reed Smith things. I'm not quite sure what the practical application of it is. I mean, the gig bag still takes up the same amount of space in my closet. It's just hanging off the ground. I wouldn't trust a guitar in the bag to hang it on in a closet because I don't know how good that sewing is. The seams are, I wouldn't want to crash into the ground. But anyway, just another cool Paul Reed Smith little innovation. But this is the new Silver Sky SE. I'm very happy with it. Right out of the box, it was, I'll get a new guitar and I'm sort of thinking, okay, this is a little different. I'll have to do this different. This thing just literally, right out of the box, was one of the best guitars, or at least it fit me better right out of the box, and probably better than any of my other guitars. But like I said, I've only played it about an hour, so we'll see what happens when the strings stretch out, and we'll see how I feel about the tuners later. But so far, really happy.